Welcome to the broadcast, my dears. I'm just popping in for a quickie, so put up a throne. Mr. Testable says, "Hi River. I just want to say I'm a Chinese-Canadian lesbian turning 33. I don't know anyone like me who loves the royal family as I do. My girlfriend has no idea why I'm so obsessed. As you say, it's the magic of royalty, I suppose. Also, I'm from Toronto, but I never heard of Meghan until she married Harry. Sorry, Meghan." Well, my dear Mr. Testable, royal admirers lurk beneath the surface, and some of them don't even realise that they are such ardent admirers of royalty, and we saw it very plainly in the wake of the late Queen's death. We saw it very plainly when King Charles came to the throne immediately. People didn't realise that they held such affection for this man that they'd known, in some of their cases, for 75 years almost. You know, and for most of our lives. We know these people, they are an extended member of the family to us. So you are not alone. You are one of many who are beneath the surface, beneath the veneer, the lacquer, through all corners of the globe, all surfaces of the sphere, my dear. And that is something that Meghan and even Harry didn't bet on. They really didn't understand how deeply held the affection is for monarchy. Not only here in the kingdom, but all over the planet. And actually, you are a Chinese-Canadian lesbian, Mr. Testable. You are a Chinese-Canadian lesbian. 33. You're in your summer season. You are their target audience, meaning the Harkles. You are their target audience. You are it, my dear. You are the gal that they market their merchandise to, these merchantresses of Venice and beyond. You are it. Archetypes was made for you, my dear. And if they heard what you were saying to me and heard about your affection for royalty and your disparagement of them, they would think you had a screw loose. They would be sending you off with the nuts and the squirrels and wondering what went wrong. What went wrong with her? She's a Chinese Canadian lesbian. She ticks all these boxes. But she doesn't love us. Oh, my dear. They would be up in arms, up in arms. And you know, thank you for all the delicious comments that came in, like Mr. Testable's in my previous broadcast. I will be going through them throughout the rest of this month, as I told you. There are so many of them, and you volunteered so much information. And amongst the few comments that I've had time to go through, I had so many comments from ladies who buck any archetype, any stereotype, and have done for decades, my dear. I've heard from truckers, I'm talking about females in this circumstance, but truckers, private investigators, firefighters, veterans, scientists, engineers, neurobiologists, biologists, architects, surgeons, and so many more vocations. I asked you to let me know what you do. And so many of you don't fit the mould or the stereotype because we'd gotten rid of them so long ago, hadn't we, my dears? And of course, there's always a bit of work to do here and there, and it depends where you live in the world and your society. But by and large, you know, we didn't have to go back so many decades, as Meghan is wont to do, to drag us back to the past and insist how much work there is to be done. Show up and do good. Total sophistry. And that is why it was an absolute tonic to catch another glimpse of Catherine, wasn't it, on Sunday? And I know that I'm a little bit late coming to you with this now, but for those of you that didn't see, it was Catherine's first appearance at Craithie, Kirk this year. And she arrived with the Prince of Wales for the Sunday service, joining King Cawsey and Queen Camilla, the Edinburghs and James Wessex and Sir Timothy Lawrence. And she wore her dark brown Suffolk fedora, adorned with feathers, and her tawny Marlborough Holland and Cooper trench. The Prince of Wales, our defender of dignity, wore a suit in navy blue and was on driving duty, and I believe that Prince George was in the back. Queen Camilla was gorgeous in a bright green blazer with red to the collar and a matching green hat. Scrumptious she looked, and the king showed off his knees, and there wasn't a nobble in sight. Look at those knees. Beautiful, aren't they? But do keep your legs closed, sir, or the crown jewels will be on display for us all to see, won't they, my dears? Their Majesties looked as scrumptious as a tin of shortbread together, didn't they? And the Edinburghs were demure, in beige, neutral tones. Actually, Sophie was wearing a camel blazer by Max Mara. And have you heard the talk about Lady Lou? Our dear Lady Lou. And by the way, as that nickname gains popularity, you remember where you heard it first, my dear. And it was me, actually, that popularised Big Willie. And some of you might not really approve of that. But, of course, it's always been his nickname among some of his friends and his flying friends. But it was me that popularised that, my dear, 3 years ago and brought it into the mainstream. So you can either thank me for that or curse me for it. And I totally understand why. But, you know, it's a sign of it. It's a name of endearment and affection. And prowess, great prowess, I don't think it does him any difficulty, but you know where these things spring from, so just remember that, my dear. And Lady Lou, the talk is that she wants to pursue a career in the military, diplomacy and law. This is what she's interested in. As you know, she is in the second year of her time at St Andrews, and she is rumoured to have fallen in love with the army cadets. She's having the time of her life. She would be the first female royal to go down that route since her granny, the late Queen Liz, who was a junior commander within the Auxiliary Territorial Service during World War II. And she continues to go from strength to strength. She's naturally demure, and the press continue to go into a great frenzy with whatever she does. When she so much as draws breath, they go into a frenzy. You ask me why, you ask me why. It is the enigma of royalty. It is her natural demureness. She's got it. She's got it in spades. She has the ability to intrigue and beguile fans at every twist and turn. And it is a credit to her breeding and her upbringing and her parents. But even with the best will in the world, some parents don't get it totally right. And that is why we turn to the subject of Harry. And Random Penguins, who have announced that the book that captivated millions of readers across every continent will be going out in paperback on October the 22nd, 2024. Spare, in big bold capitals, by Prince Harry tells an unforgettable story of love, loss, courage and healing. And it has not been updated, this paperback edition, which some quarters were expecting. But actually, when you think about it, why would Harry bother updating the paperback when a further instalment has not been ruled out? When there is material that can be saved for future editions to fulfill the contracts with Random Penguins? And as usual, the timing is thoughtless, or was it thought out? Because the release clashes with the 21st to the 25th of October appearances of the King. And he's going to be in Samoa for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. This is all going on during his autumn tour of Australia with Queen Camilla. And it's going to be the King's first attendance of this kind at a meeting like this since his accession to the throne. And the release of Spare paperback will be on the 22nd in the United States and the 24th in the United Kingdom. So there's going to be a great big clash with all that trash. Heather says, Canadian Heather here. I went to the Markle Open House in Toronto, that we spoke about on the previous broadcast, with a friend whose mother is the first cousin with Sophie Winkleman's mother. Looks like the realtor noticed on day 2 of the open house that only trolls were touring the former Markle mansion as it was cancelled with no notice on Sunday, because there was an open house due on this Saturday and Sunday just gone for Meghan's old home. We arrived with our Harry and Meghan masks, tarot cards and divining rods. I do hope you are joking there, my dear. I wouldn't put it past some fruitcakes and Fruit Loops. I'm not quite sure why you'd attend, to be honest, in the first place. But regardless, but you noticed the sad sign on the door. Real estate prices in Toronto are insanely expensive, and the only thing remarkable about the house is that it's been markled. Well, my dear, thank you for letting me know that the second day was cancelled. Isn't that curious? I wonder why, and I wonder if it was because trolls were turning up to the open house. The decor, as I mentioned now, is very bland and grey and white. Of course, it's done like a showroom and it's been renovated. I will say, as a compliment to Meghan, that it looked a lot more inviting during her days there. From the photographs that I've seen, I will say that I don't think she's got the worst touch in the world when it comes to decorating, and she does blend old and new pieces. I remember some sort of antique looking mirror and a comfy sofa that she had. I think it looked a lot more sort of lived in and cosy when she was renting it. So I will say that for the girl. There was nothing wrong with her decoration there. But yes, now indeed it's looking rather soulless and certainly unappealing for my personal taste. It could be made to be nice, but I suppose it's done up like a showroom, but doesn't appeal to me. Horses for courses. But this was lovely news for Erilyn Wallen, who has been named the first Master of the King's Music, and she is the first black composer to be appointed to the role. And this exalted post within the royal household has a fixed term of 10 years. It's a highly coveted role. And it's granted to an outstanding musician who is expected to compose music to commemorate royal events and ceremonial occasions. And how old do you think she is? Looking at these photographs here, she's 66 years old. When they first popped up these photographs, I thought 26. 66, wonderful. Belize born she is, and she was made an MBE by Prince Charles in 2007 and a CBE in 2021. And I got to tell you, I think she's gorgeous, and I send her my congratulations. I actually do recall one of her compositions because it's called Mighty River. Do you think it was inspired by me? Possibly not. Mighty River, yes, that was exploring the themes of slavery and freedom. And she also composed pieces for the late Queen's Golden and Diamond Jubilees. And the office of Master of the King's Music was actually created during the reign of King Charles I, serving as head of the Sovereign's band of musicians. Zara Tindall was at the Wellington International Horse Trials over the bank holiday weekend in Hook in Hampshire, in her riding hat and dressage apparel on a white horse. And I noticed in the comment section that we have a basketeer who teaches dressage, and she shared her channel, The Clover Queen DQ, Horse Barn and Lake Life in Michigan. Yes, we have them all here in the fruit basket. And let's wish a very happy birthday to an unsung hero of royalty, and that is Dickie Gloucester, who turned 80 years old. Happy 80th birthday to the Duke of Gloucester, who was born on August the 26th, 1944. The Duke of Gloucester is the second son of the late Duke of Gloucester and the late Princess Alice, Duchess of Gloucester. His Royal Highness is a grandson of King George V and a first cousin to the late Queen. In 1963, His Royal Highness went to Magdalen College, Cambridge, where he read architecture. And after graduating in 1966, the Duke joined the Office Development Group of the Ministry of Public Building, later becoming a partner in a London architecture firm. In 1972, the Duke married Birgitta van Deurs at St Andrew's Church at Barnwell. Together, the Duke and Duchess have 3 children, the Earl of Ulster, the Lady Davina Lewis and the Lady Rose Gilman. The Duke of Gloucester had planned a full-time career in architecture, but on the death of his elder brother in 1972, he became his father's heir and took on increased royal duties. The Duke of Gloucester is a patron or president of over 150 charities supporting causes like architecture, conservation, humanitarian issues and military veterans. Many happy returns. Thanks for joining me for this quick little catch-up, my dears, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Enjoy the day, and I'll speak to you soon. Doodle pip.